Do you say, I have failed, I should never have done that, I'm a complete failure, I will never be able to complete this diet? Can you relate to beating yourself up in that way? Success breeds success. How often do you celebrate wins, and why would it matter? Let's say you are on a diet and you're hanging out with a friend, and suddenly the friend offers you a piece of cake. Can you withstand the temptation? Can you be persistent and say, no, thank you, even if the cake is offered again? Can you? If you do, you have a huge reason to celebrate. And we're going to explain why during this episode. Now, what if you take up on the offer and ate half of the cake? What would you do to yourself afterwards? How would you feel inside of yourself? Do you say, I have failed, I should never have done that, I'm a complete failure, I will never be able to complete this diet? Can you relate to beating yourself up in that way? But what if you actually celebrated that you only ate half of the cake and resisted the temptation of eating it all? What difference do you think that would make in yourself? And not at least, what would that mean to your motivation to keep going? This is so important to avoid the vicious cycle of self-defeat, but rather instilling the mental muscle to keep going and celebrating the small steps. Because there's no such thing as, for example, overnight success, but it's taking these small steps, the small things that's going to move ourselves in the right direction. The surest thing to lose is to have lower energy, like giving up and not appreciating what you're doing correct. So we get lower energy if we beat ourselves up, if we're too hard on ourselves. So yeah, celebrate what's great. Put your focus in the empowering places. That's going to serve you. Another example could be for those of you who have kids. If you one day only get 5 minutes to talk to your kid because you're so caught up with everything else that happens, what would you tell yourself then? Are you beating yourself up because you only got 5 minutes with your kid? So are you a bad parent that you will never get to have a great relationship with them? They will never love you. But what if you instead celebrated that you were an awesome parent for 5 minutes, actively listening to them, laughing with them, having fun, listening to how their day was, what they achieved, how they feel about that, what's going on in their life, how much you care about them, and just being present with them? What if you celebrated those 5 minutes and being conscious about who you show up during those 5 minutes? Will that encourage you to do it more often and be a loving parent? So how can we cultivate this habit of celebration? Let's dig into that when we connect back again. So let me know what you're celebrating today. And even if you're watching this afterwards or listening to this afterwards, let me know. What are you celebrating? I'm curious to hear.
Please be aware, we are no financial advisors. We do not provide any advice. We only share our experience and our results are not typical. If we mention any stocks, funds and other type of investments, it is for educational and illustrational purposes only. Most people are unable to achieve similar results to ours. If you want to achieve similar results, you have to commit yourself to systemize, to learn and to stick to the rules.